The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, January 31 reveal that Kyle Abbott will hear about all the mayhem that just went down at the Newman Ranch, so he'll be relieved to learn Claire Newman is all right. However, Kyle will sense that Claire is holding back when it comes to the details of what went down with Jordan. Since Kyle will want an honest relationship where Claire feels like she can trust him, he'll encourage her to come clean. Kyle may promise that he's not going to pass judgment regardless of how things went down. Jordan was a menace who kidnapped Harrison Abbott and tormented Claire for years, so Kyle will mostly just be glad she's gone. That said, Kyle will still want the truth from Claire and may suggest she'll feel better if she lets it all pour out. Claire may ultimately admit that she decided to eliminate Jordan by luring her to the tack house and poisoning her tea. Jordan eventually guzzled the toxic drink on her own, but Claire still played a role in setting it all in motion. Although Kyle may understand completely, he might also be a little surprised over Claire's sinister side bubbling up with that plot. Over with Chelsea Lawson, she'll take a gamble when it comes to Adam Newman. Chelsea is ready to officially move all her stuff into the old ranch house for cohabitation, so that indeed qualifies as a risk in her eyes. Of course, Chelsea will also get updates on Adam being pulled into all the Ian Ward chaos. Adam could have lost his life if Victor Newman hadn't stepped up to protect his family. Once Chelsea reflects on Adam's dangerous ordeal, that could potentially lead to some passion erupting between them. Chelsea might take another gamble if she pulls Adam into a kiss and expresses relief over his survival. Next, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will find out the real story behind Heather Stevens' demise, so he'll hear about Ian going after her as part of a plot against Sharon Newman. Daniel will hear the news of Ian's partnership with Jordan as well, so he'll have to wrap his head around all the shockers on Friday's I and R episode. As for Ian, what will he do after being pronounced dead and awakening in the ambulance? Will Ian use this opportunity to escape or end up back in prison instead? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Ian's true fate could send more shockwaves around Genoa City, so we'll pass along predictions on any big reactions. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 30, force Chance to sift through what Victor tells him, what the evidence tells him, what his gut tells him, and try to figure out what really happened when Ian came barging into the Newman home. Next on The Young and the Restless, pity poor Chance Chancellor. Not only does he have a silly name, not only does he seem to be the only cop in Genoa City, but he also has to be the only cop in Genoa City when Victor believes that the police force exists exclusively to protect and serve him. Now that he's been shot, it will probably be even worse, and that protecting and serving Victor means believing his testimony of what happened, how it happened, and most importantly, why it happened. Hey, remember when neither Nick nor Victoria had to pay for Ashlyn's death? Remember when Victor faked his death and faked no consequences? Remember when Chelsea tried to kill Ray and frame Adam and got away with it? Yeah, Victor would like some more of that, Chance. Circling the wagons, of course, Victor doesn't just expect Chance to take his word for it. There will be corroborating testimony from Nikki and Victoria and Nick and whomever else Victor tells to corroborate his version of events. So here's a script, everybody. Commit it to memory. Then try to sound natural when you deliver it. Past meets present. Victor will likely expect Maria to get with the program too, but she's a little traumatized at the moment, thanks to Ian, so she can take a few minutes to get over it. And then she too can wonder, ask not what Victor can do for you, ask what you can do for Victor. The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Thursday, January 30, reveals that Tessa Porter will show up at the cottage with area Porter Copeland and express surprise over Sharon Newman's return. Tessa will apologize for worrying Mariah and will confirm that Ian Ward had nothing to do with her disappearance. After Tessa launches a story about the wild night she had, she'll admit she went for a drive to settle Aria down. The car ran out of juice since Tessa forgot to charge it earlier, and unfortunately, her phone wasn't charged either. The weather was bad, so Tessa will explain that she couldn't walk anywhere with Aria. Tessa was stuck waiting until Abby Winters drove by and came to her rescue, but Tessa still couldn't call Mariah since Abby left her phone at Society. The whole thing was just a disastrous night of problems, so Tessa will be sorry for making Mariah fret and for suggesting she should forgive Ian. Tessa will feel like an idiot, but Mariah will just be glad to have her wife and daughter back. After Sharon, Tessa and Mariah hear sirens approaching the ranch. They'll leave Aria with Faith Newman and head over to the main house. Meanwhile, Ian will be declared dead once the paramedics arrive. Nikki Newman will make a speech about Ian's reign of terror being over before Sharon and Mariah deliver some furious parting words too. Victor Newman's wound won't be life-threatening, but he'll still need to be transported to the hospital for surgery. Nikki will ride with Victor in the ambulance and continue to worry about him, but he'll insist the nightmare is behind them. Back at the ranch, Chance Chancellor will hear a slightly altered version of events from Michael Baldwin, Nick Newman, and Adam Newman. Michael will make it seem like Ian barged in the ranch on his own, and the Newman brothers will suggest they were there to support the family during a difficult time when it happened. However, the part about Ian grabbing the security guard's gun and Victor saving the day will obviously be true. Nick will explain how things went down with the weapon and make a prediction about the prints on the gun backing up the story. Chance will seem skeptical about Ian confessing his crimes during the confrontation, and will find it strange that all this happened after Jordan died on the property. Things always seem to work out for the Newmans, so Chance will act annoyed despite his admission that the world's a better place without Jordan and Ian. Back at Sharon's house, Claire Newman will join Sharon, Mariah, and Tessa as they discuss Ian and Jordan's partnership. Tessa will think she should be begging for forgiveness since she thought Ian might have changed, but Mariah will understand since Ian was a master manipulator. While Sharon and the others try to look to the future, Thursday's I and Our episode will deliver a shocking twist. Ian's death will turn into a fake-out since he'll suddenly jolt awake in the ambulance. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Ian could wreak more havoc eventually, so we'll bring you updates on any other troubling news to come. In the beginning of the month, we reported that various soap stars, including The Young and the Restless Eric Braeden, had been forced to evacuate their homes due to the fires that raged throughout Los Angeles. Sadly, many of the actors and actresses lost their homes as a result, and the CBS soap vet had been one of them. Braeden posted a video from outside his property as he and his wife Dale were forced to say goodbye to the home they had lived in for over 45 years. And soon after, his home had been destroyed by the fire. Absolutely devastated, Braeden made a tearful return to his former home and admitted, "I didn't think it would hit me this much." The daytime community, with many suffering the same loss, rallied around the actor and this past weekend, when he shared an assortment of posts of what his home used to look like. Melissa Claire Egan sent him a heartfelt message and stated, "I'm so sorry, Eric." Egan left her comment under a pic of his beautiful backyard, which offered up a serene view of the pool and lush landscaping. Along with other shots, Braeden shared a look inside his living room that is no more. Unfortunately, Egan also lost her home to the fires and alerted, "We are safe. Thank God. All that matters." She went on to explain that they had just bought a house in the Palisades, but that the family had yet to move into it. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Newman will fret over Victor Newman following his injury at the ranch. Thanks to the gunshot wound Ian Ward delivered, Victor will need some time to recover, and that could leave his empire vulnerable to threats. I and our fans will recall that Victor tried to give Diane Jenkins Abbott an empty shell when he signed over Glissade, but Jack Abbott managed to buy up all the divisions without Victor's knowledge. As a result, a fuming Victor called Michael Baldwin and put his attorney to work on something that would give him the last laugh. In other words, Victor's revenge plot is already in motion and could affect Jabot soon enough. No matter what Victor has cooked up, Jack and Kyle Abbott will have to deal with the difficult fallout. Of course, that could bring a conversation about fighting back, but the timing could be tricky. Even Jack may have to admit the best time to strike is while Victor's out of commission, but he might have some reservations about crossing that line. However, Kyle might argue that Victor would play dirty if the situation were reversed and give Jack the nudge he needs to go for it. Jack and Kyle could team up on a retaliation plot that'll hit Newman Enterprises hard while Victor's recovery is in progress. If that's how things play out, Claire could end up disgusted with Kyle for kicking Victor while he's down. That could cause a rift between the lovers and ramp up the whole Abbott-Newman rivalry aspect of Kyle's relationship with Claire. Business drama will indeed be a factor in the issues that are brewing for Claire and Kyle in the coming months. Kyle and Claire's feuding families will play a big role in some of the obstacles they have to conquer. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire and Kyle will get stuck in the middle of all the corporate chaos, so their romance will be put to the test. Our predictions suggest Kyle could make some moves Claire disapproves of while Victor's not at the top of his game, so stay tuned for updates on all the shocking news ahead. Viewers of The Young and the Restless are starting to suspect the series could have a new addition. Some fans suspect that Zulika Silver's Audra Charles could be pregnant. In addition, she's not the only one fans suspect could be having a baby. The Young and the Restless fans suspect someone could be coming to Genoa City. Mexican-American actress Zulika Silver joined the cast of The Young and the Restless as Audra Charles in 2022. The character has been portrayed as a determined businesswoman who was lured to Genoa City. In recent events on the soap, Audra has gained more attention through her friendship with Nikki Newman. In addition, Audrey's exes also appear to be returning to her life. Added to this, fans have especially started to suspect the show is setting up a new storyline for Audra. After noticing some telltale symptoms, some fans suspect the character might be having a baby. It also helps that the soap is once again focusing on Audra's love life. This has brought about speculation that one could turn out to be the father of Audra's possible child. Some possible candidates include Noah Newman or Nate Hastings. Some suspect Audra's behavior could be foreshadowing other health issues. Taking to Facebook, one fan asked, "Is Audra pregnant?" She's got this newfound emotional side to her, and a few episodes she mentions how she's slept in and how tired she is, and how she's hungry. Some fans think there could be a special reason for such a storyline. As one fan noted, Silver recently became engaged in real life. Maybe she is pregnant and they are gonna add it in the storyline. Another similarly wrote, "Maybe the actress is in real life, she's just recently become engaged. Maybe they're going to write it in." In the comments, many agreed that the idea had merit and this could play out on the soap. Others found the idea. Some comments included, "I mean, it's possible, but I slept in. I'm tired and hungry, and I'm not pregnant." I hope so. I love the new Audra. I think it would be great, and that they make a fantastic loving couple. Been wondering about that, based on her comments of late. Her being pregnant would at least add some interest as a new storyline. I was thinking that a few weeks ago when she was complaining about being tired when they were traveling. According to Coming Soon, there has been no confirmation that Audra is having a baby anytime soon on The Young and the Restless. It's possible Audra's behavior is just a red herring and the character could be dealing with other health issues. The Young and the Restless spoilers imply that while some fans believe Ian Ward is behind the disappearance of both Tessa Porter and Aria Copeland Porter, he may not be the one responsible. After all, he's repeatedly stated he has nothing to do with it, even during his heated confrontation with the Newman family during the Wednesday, January 29 show. While Mariah Copeland, along with Sharon Newman and Nick Newman, fluffed off any ideas that Tessa could have taken off with Aria, could they all be wrong? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Tessa Porter's shady past. Lie and R spoilers remind fans that Tessa has quite a shady past. While she's cleaned up her act and moved on, this doesn't mean her past may not return to haunt her. Maria initially was worried that because she and Tessa fought, her wife left the family's home with their daughter because of this. But maybe Tessa left because of a threat from her past. If fans recall, Tessa's sister, Crystal Porter, was part of a trafficking ring. Despite the danger of it all being over, Tessa did go to extreme lengths to save Crystal. While Crystal did return to Genoa City in 2022 for Tessa's wedding to Mariah, and everything seemed great, this doesn't mean that a threat couldn't be looming in the shadows. What if Crystal showed up at Tessa's house unexpectedly? Could she be on the run? Could she have warned Tessa about possible danger or an unexpected strike from past thugs? Maybe Tessa needed to take Aria out of GC right away. My and our spoilers. There's another past threat fans aren't aware of. Lie and our spoilers indicate there could be another threat from Tessa's past the viewers are not aware of that's caused her to leave town with her tot. After all, Tessa lived a long life before she came to Genoa City and fell in love with Mariah. While she knows Mariah will be sick with worry, perhaps the alternative of not leaving placed too high a risk on both her and Aria's life. Actress Courtney Hope is known for her work on soaps. Most notably, a few years back, she joined the cast of The Young and the Restless. Recently, Hope has become the subject of rumors that she might be leaving Genoa City. Since then, the actress herself has opened up about the rumors. Courtney Hope has played Sally Spectra on 2 soaps. In 2017, Hope joined the cast of The Bold and the Beautiful as Sally Spectra. By 2020, however, the character crossed over into The Young and the Restless, bringing Hope with her. Hope would remain in the role for years following the transition. However, recently, the actress became the subject of rumors claiming her time on the soap is coming to an end. On January 26, Hope shared an Instagram story concerning the rumors. In the post, she included a screenshot from an Instagram account claiming to be a news site for the soap. Hope noted the responsibility she feels for her fans. As seen in the post, a teaser read, Courtney Hope says goodbye to Y and R. A new chapter awaits for the beloved star. For her part, Hope wrote in the caption, "This is not true, and it really is infuriating when people put out false news just to get a reaction out of the fans. I'm not leaving, I'm not taking a break, no such thing has been uttered." Deplorable clickbait. At this time, it is believed that the original Instagram post is still online. Hope herself took to the comments, sharing, "I have absolutely no idea where you're getting your information." She continued, "I would really appreciate you stopping the spread of misinformation. You're getting people worked out for no reason." As noted by SoapHub, Hope acknowledged that this was not my first go-around with false narratives. She noted she's become used to such stories. However, she felt, "I have a problem with preying on people's emotions," suggesting this was not really about her. The actress continued, "You know, we at The Young and the Restless work really hard to make sure our fan base is valued and seen and heard. And I have a problem when somebody takes that value system of us and uses it for their own self-satisfaction and their own gratification for clickbait, for boosting their own presence." She added, "It's gross, and I feel a responsibility to my fans, to The Young and the Restless fans, to make sure they have the correct information." The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the quiet corridors of Genoa City Memorial Hospital. Outside room 407, the Newman family gathered in tense silence, each one haunted by the possibility that their patriarch, Victor Newman, might not live to see another day. Just hours before, Victor had been rushed into emergency surgery after suffering a gunshot wound to his abdomen, a bullet fired by the cunning Ian Ward. Doctors raced against the clock to control the internal bleeding, but the grim reality loomed heavily on everyone's mind. The damage to Victor's internal organs might be too severe for him to overcome, especially given his advanced age and weakened state. Nikki Newman stood rigidly by the wall, her normally poised demeanor shattered by anguish. Her arms tightened protectively around her daughter, Victoria, whose tears stained her mother's blouse. Victoria's sobs were audible even in the hushed hallway, echoing the heartbreak both mother and daughter felt. Nearby, Nick Newman sat hunched in a chair, staring blankly at the cold tiles. He clenched his fists, wishing he could somehow undo the night's horrific events. In contrast, Adam Newman was pacing restlessly, his agitation evident in the way he raked his fingers through his hair. Despite all the conflicts and complicated family history, the Newmans were united in a single terrifying thought: Victor might not make it. A deadly confrontation. Just a few hours earlier, Victor had confronted Ian Ward in a dangerous standoff. Their rivalry spanned years, filled with betrayals, machinations, and countless threats. Yet this encounter proved to be the most perilous of all. Ian, as sly as ever, seized a moment of vulnerability and shot Victor in the abdomen. The bullet tore through vital tissue before lodging in a place that no surgeon could quickly or easily repair. In the immediate aftermath, Victor collapsed, clutching his stomach as crimson stained his immaculate shirt. All attempts at keeping him conscious failed. He drifted into a state of shock, fighting for breath. By the time the paramedics loaded him into the ambulance, he was unconscious and unresponsive. Inside the hospital, the atmosphere was electric with both urgency and dread. Doctors and nurses rushed in and out of the operating room, doing everything in their power to save the Newman patriarch. Intravenous lines, blood transfusions, and emergency surgery were all in motion. Monitors beeped frantically, reflecting the precarious state of Victor's life. Everyone hoped for a miracle, but medical specialists knew that abdominal injuries, especially those that damage internal organs, are notoriously difficult to treat. No matter how skilled the surgical team might be, Victor's survival was anything but guaranteed. The family struggle. As the Newman family waited, their anxiety twisted tighter, like a vice around their hearts. The tension brought out different emotions in each family member. Victoria, emotionally transparent, wept openly, inconsolable as memories of her father's unwavering support flashed through her mind. No matter what differences they might have had, Victor was still her rock, someone who always believed in her ability to lead Newman Enterprises and stand on her own 2 feet. Meanwhile, Nikki struggled to maintain a facade of calm for her children while battling her own panic. Her hands trembled as she tried to comfort Victoria, revealing the depth of her distress. Losing Victor would leave a void impossible to fill. Nick, usually the steady son who held firm to a moral compass slightly different from his father's, was at a loss for words. Despite the friction between them over business ethics, Nick respected Victor's determination and fierce loyalty to his family. Now, seeing his father on the brink of death forced him to reassess their strained relationship. 1,000 regrets flashed through his mind, the times he had stormed out of Victor's office in anger, the arguments that ended with slamming doors, the countless words left unsaid. Adam, on the other hand, had a more complicated history with Victor. Their relationship was shaped by secrets, betrayals, and the constant question of paternal acceptance. Yet, Adam's restlessness in the hospital corridor showed that fear and love can coexist. He couldn't shake the anger he felt toward Ian Ward for causing such heartbreak. If Victor died, Adam would be left grappling with a sea of unresolved emotions. The looming shadow of death. As the night wore on, distant thunder rumbled, mirroring the foreboding atmosphere within the hospital. The media caught wind of the shooting, and a swarm of reporters gathered outside, eager for updates on the city's most influential citizen. Their flashing cameras and insistent voices intruded upon the family's grief, forcing them to close ranks against the onslaught of publicity. Inside, the Newmans tried to maintain composure, but whispers of Victor's potential demise spread quickly, fueling speculation. Even hospital staff, longtime residents of Genoa City, exchanged sorrowful glances, aware of Victor's significance in the community. He was more than a businessman, he was a force of nature. Perhaps the darkest moment came when a surgeon cautiously approached the waiting family. His expression was grave, the lines etched into his face revealing the toll the procedure had taken on him. He explained that while they had managed to stabilize Victor for the moment, the damage to his organs was extensive. Post-operative complications were likely, and the next 24 hours would be critical. The relief the family felt was fleeting, overshadowed by the surgeon's warning that multiple surgeries might be needed. Victor's weakened condition, due to both his age and the shock of the injury, would challenge even the best medical interventions. A funeral or a final trick? Rumors also circulated that Ian Ward had escaped capture and might still be lurking in Genoa City. Fear mingled with sorrow, adding another layer of tension to an already impossible situation. Would Ian try to strike the Newman family again? Was his vendetta against Victor and the Newmans far from over? For now, those questions had to remain unanswered. The only thing that mattered was Victor's recovery. Their collective prayer was simple. The young and the restless spoilers, shocking Ian Ward's grim deception. A crisp dawn light filtered through the tall windows of Genoa City Memorial Hospital, bathing the hallway in a muted glow. The air was thick with tension and disbelief. Despite all appearances, Ian Ward, formerly presumed dead, had somehow slipped through the cracks. As rumors spread rapidly among the hospital staff, hushed conversations and furtive glances betrayed the growing fear that the man who haunted so many lives was still very much alive. The aftermath of chaos. Earlier, paramedics had loaded Ian Ward's seemingly lifeless body into an ambulance, the sirens slicing through the night. Sharon and Mariah stood on the curb, arms crossed tightly against their chests, still trembling from the shock of the incident. They hurled curses at Ian's gurney, their voices laced with hatred and desperation. Time and again, the man had manipulated their lives, incited terror, and left emotional wreckage in his wake. "Stay dead, Ian Ward," Mariah spat, her fury barely contained. "If I had my way, I'd make sure you never drew another breath." Sharon placed a steadying hand on her daughter's shoulder, though her eyes reflected the same seething rage. "He's caused too much suffering already. Better that he's gone for good." So certain were they of his demise that neither Sharon nor Mariah noticed the subtle rise and fall of Ian's chest. He lay completely still, feigning the power and stillness of death with unnerving skill. No one, not even the paramedics who strapped him down, suspected that beneath the charade, his mind was still working, like a predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A close call in the ambulance. Once the ambulance doors slammed shut, the paramedics turned their attention away for only a moment, long enough for Ian Ward to peel his eyelids open. His pupils flickered left and right, assessing his surroundings. Heart monitors beeped faintly, and the stench of antiseptic burned his nostrils. Still strapped securely onto the gurney, he suppressed a grimace, inhaling shallow breaths so as not to draw attention. A small bag of medical tools clattered near his foot. If only he could reach it. He strained against the belts around his torso, testing their give without making a sound. Any sudden movement or noise could alert the paramedics in the front cabin. Ian needed a flawless escape, a testament to the meticulous planning he'd honed over decades of cunning schemes. Outside the ambulance, the early morning cityscape raced past. The siren wailed, signaling urgency, an urgency the hospital staff believed was no longer relevant, because, in their minds, the occupant on the stretcher was already beyond saving. But this was all part of Ian's plan. The morgue's mistaken guest. At the hospital, the morgue attendant, overworked and under-caffeinated, received the ambulance call with a resigned nod. He prepared the paperwork for Ian Ward's body to be placed alongside Jordan, a similarly dangerous figure. To the attendant, this was just another gruesome task in a thankless job. He didn't think twice when the paramedics delivered a zipped body bag. After all the forms were in order, and there was no doctor to contradict the official cause of death, Ian was sent to the morgue. What no one realized was that the paramedics, in their haste, had not double-checked the vital signs. Their instructions were clear. This body, bullet wounds and all, was to be deposited and logged for further investigation. So Ian arrived at the morgue in eerie silence, hidden in the thick plastic bag meant to hold an actual corpse. Sharon and Mariah, believing they had witnessed his final moments, allowed themselves to breathe a small sigh of relief, though a deeper anger still festered. Sharon's response was a slow, solemn nod, her eyes scanning the distance. Even as they tried to move on, doubt lingered in the back of their minds. Could a man so devious really die so quietly? Maria's dark resolve. Back at Crimson Lights, Maria paced restlessly. The coffee shop's usual warmth provided little comfort. She replayed the memory of Ian's malevolent grin, the one that had taunted her countless times when he was very much alive. A storm brewed within her. She imagined all the ways she could have confronted him, made him pay for his sins. "Mom, you know this is all too neat," she said suddenly, halting in the middle of the cafe. Sharon stood behind the counter, her gaze fixed on a fresh brew dripping into a glass pot. "What do you mean?" she asked, though a tremor of anxiety colored her voice. "That man put us through hell. He controlled me, twisted my life around, and now he's just dead? A bullet hole and we're done? Something's not adding up." Sharon sighed, turning off the coffee machine. "Maria, I'm trying to keep it together here. We have enough problems with Victor in critical condition. If Ian really was alive..." She paused, as if the very thought was too horrific. "No, there's no way. The paramedics would have noticed." But the seeds of doubt had already sprouted in Mariah's mind. She decided right then and there that she would sneak down to the morgue herself to make sure Ian Ward was truly gone. A ghastly discovery. By the time Mariah reached the hospital basement, a narrow corridor lined with flickering fluorescent lights stretched out before her. The morgue's sterile smell, equal parts disinfectant and the faintest tinge of decay, made her stomach churn. She steeled herself, determined to put an end to her doubts. The attendant on duty gave her a quizzical glance. "Family of the deceased?" Maria forced a weak smile and nodded. "Yes, Ian Ward. I just needed to see him one last time." Reluctantly, the attendant led her into the mortuary chamber. He pointed to a metal drawer near the corner. "He's in there," he said quietly. Maria approached the drawer with trembling steps. The moment she pulled it open, her heart nearly stopped. It was empty. No zippered body bag. No bullet-ridden corpse. Nothing but the cold steel of the morgue's sliding tray. "He was here earlier," the attendant stammered, fumbling through his clipboard. "Look, I have the paperwork. This doesn't make any sense." The young and the restless spoilers hint that February sweeps is mere days away, which is when all soaps tend to bring on the drama and chaos. Although the last 2 weeks of January have felt much like a sweeps month in Genoa City. Between Jordan's poisonous demise and Ian Ward's confrontation at the Newman Ranch, the climax of these villains and their reign of terror in the little town have been nothing short of explosive. Many fans anticipate that Ian will likely meet his demise in the days ahead, But where will that leave Tessa Porter and Aria Copeland Porter? The mom and tot went missing during the Monday, January 27 show, when Mariah Copeland frantically returned to Sharon Newman's home and announced her wife and daughter weren't at the house. Of course, Mariah, like most Y and R fans, assumes that Ian is behind this, but what if he isn't? Could there be a plot twist surrounding Tessa and Aria's absence, and potentially a new looming threat lurking in the shadows of GC? My and R spoilers hint that Ian will get shot during the Wednesday, January 29 episode. However, will he pass away instantly? Will he tell Victor Newman and Nick Newman where he stashed Tessa and Aria? What if Ian continues to deny any involvement, even on his deathbed? Could he be telling the truth? Is it possible that an unknown villain has emerged on the GC scene, unbeknownst to fans, and has kidnapped Mariah's wife and toddler? With both Ian and Jordan out of the picture, the soap could use a new dastardly baddie to stir the storyline pot. This anti-hero could be anyone from a returning Ben Stitch Rayburn to someone entirely new. Both Tessa and Mariah have shady pasts, so perhaps someone has returned to cause drama in their lives out of pure revenge. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Sweeps Month is a time to expect the unexpected, and the soap is sure to continue to bring on the drama and action during February, considering how storylines have unraveled the past few weeks. Only time will tell if Ian is behind Tessa and Aria's disappearance, or if someone new is. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Claire Newman wants to get her great aunt. She intends to kill Jordan Howard, but that seems unlikely. So what might happen instead? Victor Newman's antennae are up. That signals to the audience that this won't be a three-person attack against Jordan, but will morph into the head of the Newman clan protecting his own. Jordan is leery of Claire's complete reversal. As another cool black and white flashback reminded viewers, Claire told Jordan she was a monster when visiting her in jail. So why the sudden change? The Young and the Restless spoilers. The Newmans are neither lady's enemies. Jordan is deluded. She believes that Victor is responsible for her sister's death many years ago. He wasn't, but Zink's character wants to believe otherwise. She used that infinitely deep misconception to fuel her vendetta and steal his granddaughter, Eve. Viewers recall that was the name Victoria Newman and Cole Howard gave their daughter at birth. The Newmans aren't Claire's enemies, though she hopes Jordan believes her ruse. It's a stretch to think that she will, but the audience will accept a degree of magic in this storyline. The sheer force of will that Jordan projects reflects Zink's mastery. As soap opera fans know, this former As the World Turns cast member is a great actor. Her talent, castmates, and the depth of this tale have made this adventure a sight to behold. My and our spoilers. Claire Newman driven by dire circumstance. Who wouldn't feel emboldened in light of this most unusual circumstance? Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jordan reappears. Claire rightly assumed the justice system would be capable of containing her great aunt, especially after her escape through the use of fire at the other prison where she was previously held. But she's out, walking freely in Genoa City, Wisconsin. Believing that the only way to prevent Jordan from harming her true loved ones is understandable. Hopefully, Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott and Victoria's protective instincts and determination to protect Claire prevail. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan Howard going it alone. Jordan's talk with herself in the motel room was enlightening. This stupendous villain used her smartphone after deciding it was time to do something she should have done for a while. Claire told the same duo who once contained Jordan at a remote location who was calling. Nikki and Victoria didn't want her to answer, but Claire did. The resulting conversation led to her second face-to-face meeting with Jordan recently. Calamity is coming to GC, Hurt is coming. Jordan, Ian Ward Victor, and the other connected characters will intersect. Various outcomes are possible, making this storyline one of Y and R's best in this decade and potentially this millennium. The Young and the Restless bid farewell to its popular villain, Jordan. After a year of wreaking havoc on the Newmans, her reign of terror ended after drinking poisoned tea. But have we seen the last of Miss Howard? The end for Jordan? Since arriving at Y and R a year ago, Jordan has been a devilish delight. The villain wanted revenge on the Newmans for the pain they caused her sister Eve. Jordan even lured her niece Claire into her scheme. However, Claire turned on her aunt after discovering that Victoria and Cole are her parents. Although Jordan was sent to prison, she escaped and teamed up with another Geno City villain, Ian. The two caused much chaos and pain by murdering Heather and kidnapping Sharon. However, the jig was up for Jordan when Claire spotted her. With the help of Victoria and Nikki, Claire hatched a plan to take down her aunt. After confessing to her crimes, Jordan downed the poisoned tea and then died with Claire by her side. Surprise twist in her death. Although Jordan took her final breath, Y and R fans know characters usually return from the dead, so the Newmans might not be free of Jordan just yet. The show seemed to foreshadow Jordan's future before her death. During her conversation with Claire, Jordan referred to herself as a cat with 9 lives. There's the possibility Jordan could have faked her death with her niece's help. Claire was the one who poisoned Jordan's tea, but showed hesitation in going through with the plan.